What up? What up? What up, internet? Who you are, what you be, where you at, what you see. This is Pop Cult Parent, your favorite podcast that talks about life, pop culture, and everything in between. And today we are talking about the sensation, the movie of the summer, maybe the Merc with a mouth, the Red Assassin, I guess. I don't know any other names, but Deadpool and Wolverine, the newest Marvel movie that came out that's taking the summer by storm. We're gonna get into that today. I'm one of your hosts, Mark M.F. Jones, aka M Pool, and I am joined here today by
One, salute, Mark. And two, this is Niels RY, aka you know how long I've been waiting for this? Ooh, I'm about to make a name for myself here.
Ooh, shouty.
Oh, love that. And this is Shannon, aka Dad Pooh, because these kids have been running me ragged.
Tell me about it.
And welcome back to the Pop Cult. A friend of the cast, a member of the Superhero Roundtable, a tried and true superhero veteran himself, Mr. Otis. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good. It's your boy O Stroud, aka O Sizzle, aka let's just have random cameos, just like popping up. So glad to be here again with you
Nice
guys.
cameo, Otis. Way to be here. Nice
There it is. There it is.
Yo, and for our viewers who are watching this podcast, I am gonna try my best to keep this on through the whole episode. This thing is hot and itchy, but we're gonna get into it. Unless you've been living under a rock, Deadpool and Wolverine came out this summer. Came out a few weeks ago. It's been killing the box office. It might even catch up to Inside Out 2 for domestic box office, which is crazy because Inside Out 2 has been killing it. But we're gonna get into it. We all saw the movie. We're gonna get into like our favorite moments, what we thought about the movie, and what we think next is for Marvel. But always Nels got that good history for us. So Nels, why don't you let us know what you got?
Yep. So a bit of context, y'all. One, Deadpool and Wolverine came out this summer 2024, starring Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman, and a whole bunch of folks. To kind of give you a bit of the numbers that Mark was sharing. So Inside Out 2 is a $1 billion movie. Like we're talking like $1.4 billion. Currently, Deadpool and Wolverine is over $900 million.
Jeez.
940 million, I believe. There's a good chance Deadpool Wolverine might become a $1 billion movie. And it's a rated R movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is bananas.
Mm-hmm.
So needless to say, it's gotten a lot of attention and attraction. And I'm excited that we're going to talk about it today.
It actually beat Passion of the Christ. Oh, my bad. It beat Passion of the Christ for the #1 R-rated grossing movie ever so far.
And I'm sure Ryan Reynolds will continue to say Marvel Jesus if he hears that. So ridiculous. But I think it's important for us to talk a bit about like a core theme of Deadpool and Wolverine, which is Fox in 20th Century Fox and their orientation to the world of Marvel. So I think it's important for folks to know that this movie is low-key paying homage, maybe not low-key, it is paying homage to Fox.
Yeah.
And from 2000 to, I want to say 2020, Fox has made several Marvel movies. They've made all the mutant movies, so that includes X-Men, it includes the New Mutants, it includes Deadpool, it includes the Wolverine movies. They've also made Fantastic Four and all those Fantastic Four movies. And of course, Daredevil and Elektra. And so that span started in 2000 with X-Men and then wrapped up in 2020 with the New Mutants. This movie, Deadpool Wolverine, is the first of the Fox movies to like be under the Disney production. And you may be wondering if you've seen the movie, which if you haven't, spoilers, but if you've seen the movie, and I'm assuming everybody in the pop call has because it's made over $900 million. there is a particular character and movie that kind of started this whole roller coaster. And that wasn't a Fox production, it was a New Line production, and that is Blade. Blade came out in 1998. We've talked in a few episodes the importance of Blade to all things superheroes. It was like the first good superhero movie since a Batman movie. Like, there was a long span of time where there were just bad superhero movies. And Blade made so much money and was so good that Marvel put a bet like, okay, I think we can make money from superhero movies. They like gave money for Spider-Man to be made. That got them out of bankruptcy, and then they started the MCU, and now they're acquired by Disney.
That's the crazy thing about all this. It saved the company. Selling X-Men, selling Spider-Man saved them. So like,
and it's all because of Blade. It's all because of Blade. So
it sounds, sorry, I was just gonna say it because of the time we're in, it sounds wild to even say that, to be like, we might be able to make money off of a superhero movie. We might. Like, you know, so tried and true at this point. But yeah, at one point there was a question of maybe we sort of can, kind of, when in reality, you know, now.
Yeah, pretty much. So that's the important context that wanted to share. There is a reason that Blade and several of the Fox superheroes were featured so much in this movie. But yeah, fellas, any thoughts or reactions to that before we jump in?
Nah, man, you just gotta give Wesley Snipes and everybody from the ground up their flowers every chance you get, because I mean, like you said, they paved the way for all of this.
Yeah. Without Blade, we want to be here. I mean, there is no X-Men, you know, which was crazy hit when it came out, without Blade doing what it did. Wesley Snipes, you know, those first two Blade movies, I can watch them all day long. I'm curious which one's y'all's favorite. I think I'm a Blade 2 guy. Just because the aesthetic of it, the cast, you got Ron Perlman in it. Anytime you can have Ron Perlman in a movie, Ron Perlman versus Wesley Snipes, like, come on. Come on. So I'm a Blade 2 guy, but yeah, they're both great. We won't talk about Blade 3.
No, we're not going.
I mean, we will, because they, you know, they kind of mentioned it in this movie, you know. Fourth wall, Ryan Reynolds play. You know.
Blade 2 is probably a better movie, but man, Blade 1.
Oh yeah.
I say 1 just because it's just like the
ice skating uphill.
The introduction, the opening scene,
openings. Oh my goodness!
Have a chance to, like, you go from not even 0 to 60. Like, you start like getting pushed out of like a helicopter as far as like adrenaline goes. Like
the blood falling from the ceiling in that little like dance rave thing. Like, come on, bro. Huh?
The club scene, that's part 1?
That's Blade 1.
Oh man, I always thought, man,
that is the opening scene of Blade 1, bro. That's how they start all this. That's why we have the MCU, because of that scene.
In his blood, which again, nobody was really doing for like superhero stuff, like real blood, not like a little blood out of the mouth or something like in those like Christopher Reeve Superman things, but like just like raw blood. It just, yeah.
Can I like throw an interesting fact out there before we move on?
Yeah.
Blade wasn't Wesley Snipes' first choice when he came to Marvel Entertainment for a movie.
Go on.
Wesley, for years, I'm talking like since Passenger was 67, 57, one of them. Since then, he has been talking to Marvel about playing a character, and that character is Black Panther. He was fighting for years to be Black Panther. And they were getting really close to a deal. And then they're like, actually, you know what? We got some weird stuff going on with like, we're about to be in bankruptcy. But we feel like if there's like, here are some other characters. And he saw Blade and he's like, oh, I'll do that. I'll do Blade. And so there was a good chance that instead of Blade, he would have made a Black Panther movie.
Interesting.
Yeah, because I'm like, I think he would have been great at it, but also you got to look at the timing, because like Black Panther made in the late, well, no, not even late 90s, just early 2000s, like Black Panther made back then would not have had the same, thing. So
yeah.
It would have been treated with the same gravitas. It would have been Ernest Goes to Africa. Like it would have been bad though.
Yeah.
We don't talk about Ernest Goes to Africa. It's a very racist movie.
It would have looked good.
Yeah, you're right, bro. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
So y'all, let's talk about Deadpool Wolverine. I'm curious, what are your thoughts on the movie? What are your takeaways? Like, how are you ranking it? Like, what are y'all's like, or how would you rate it? Like, what are y'all's reactions to the movie? Who'd like to start?
What are our guests? We won't let our guests go first.
Yeah, go ahead.
I appreciate it. I think one of the things I say, I joke with some friends, I'm like, nostalgia is like a really good drug. It's like a drug of choice sometimes. This is just nothing but nostalgia. It gives you all the things that you needed through this long journey. And so for me, I think about, my introduction to Marvel was through X-Men. Like that's what my mom put me on, my brother on. And so thinking about that first X-Men movie, how long ago it was and how bad it was when you look back on it now, but just how excited you still were they finally got it to the screen, and for them to kind of pay that off on this back end with everything they did with Logan and his character. Ryan Reynolds, like nobody works that fourth wall like he does. That was great. I told people, if anything, you're gonna laugh the whole time and enjoy it that way, and that's what entertainment is. Personally, I don't think it unlocks anything really major in my eyes. I mean, it could, but I just look at this as like one piece of work within a vacuum that I thoroughly enjoy from the beginning to the end.
Otis, did you say that the first X-Men movie was bad? Did I hear you wrong?
It wasn't great.
I mean, do we want to get into this, fellas? Do we want to?
I do want to get into it. I agree with Otis. I think
what
in the moment
it was great.
When I saw it, let me be clear. It was bad as in like as you get older and you go back and watch it, you're like, man, this really wasn't that good.
What was bad? Besides Halle Berry trying to do an African accent. I'll give you that. What was bad?
That wasn't too bad. I mean, Otis, you go ahead. I have some thoughts, but
I just think the plot was kind of lazy. They didn't give you really backgrounds of the character development. They just assumed that we should know who everyone was, and it was almost like, now I'm looking back on it, it was like season 4 of X-Men, if that was a series. Like it was like that. It was like, we're just gonna take you to season 4, episode 7, and whatever you miss, you just gotta watch and figure it out. Like that's kind of what it was like. But again, I watched it. I thought it was the best thing ever. I got to see my X-Men on the big screen.
It's interesting you say that, because I feel like when I go back and I watch that movie, it's refreshing, because now it's like it's like they got to tell you everything. It's like, oh, this is Wonder Boy, and he's from here, and he does this, and this is like, that movie was like, yo, figure it out. Like, this is the X-Men. Figure it out. You're smart enough. You can figure it out. And I don't know. I found that like refreshing. Like, movies do not do that anymore. Movies do not trust you to like figure things out. They're like, oh no, this is Captain Marvel. She's from here. She did this. Da 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 da. Captain America. Like, it's like there's no like mystery to it. And I don't know. I'm not saying like y'all are wrong. I just, like, when I go back to that, I find it kind of refreshing, because it's like now movies are like living Wikipedia pages. They're like everything, and this is Black Panther's sidekick, and this is so interesting take. I'm not saying y'all wrong, but like I think it's an interesting take.
Yeah, and if anybody listen out there, again, I thought it was a great movie when I watched it. I'm just saying now, when you look back on it, you're like.
So let me ask you this, and we can get back to Deadpool. But so what do you think about X2? Because I think X2 is one of the greatest superhero movies ever created.
Okay.
It's been a minute, Otis.
It's been a while. I can't argue one way or the other.
I mean,
You talking about what, 2002?
that
X2, that's
Nightcrawler,
Yeah,
that
That's
Nightcrawler.
Nightcrawler
Nightcrawler.
White House
Yeah.
scene alone,
Yeah.
like
Okay.
puts it up there.
And that's Lady Deathstrike. I
Lady
believe.
Deathstrike,
Yeah.
Striker. There
Striker.
are no
That
answers
whole
that way,
Striker.
Wolverine.
wait, is this when Jean dies?
Or they think,
Yeah,
they think
yeah.
she dies at the end.
That's how it ends. When
Okay.
she's like holding back the water.
When
Okay.
Magneto takes the iron, he's like, so much iron in your blood.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Okay.
come on.
That was good. That was good. Okay, that was
Yeah.
good. That was good. But also, you take X2 to that first X-Men, and it's a big gap.
I mean, but it is, but like you gotta grade on a scale. It's like we
That's
went
what.
from Blade,
But Otis said that.
but he said it's bad. I'm not saying
No,
it, like,
he said looking back, but he said in the moment it was great.
but
great.
like you could say that about anything. We could go back to Iron Man 1 and like it's okay. It's all right now.
Mark, I can't take you seriously with this Deadpool mask.
I'm saying like
You just seem like a contrarian. You seem like Deadpool with this.
what are you
mask on.
talking about? Like
Because and I like Shan, I know you want to say something, but I'll just say this real quick. Like part of my thing with the 2000 X-Men movie, yes, when I saw it, I was like, this is what I've been wanting. And we gotta give props for the movie, because at the time, it's one of the best superhero movies that we saw. Like, no ifs, ands, or buts. But looking at the world now and thinking about, in particularly, the richness of the story of mutants and all the things that come from the world of X-Men, in particular, the story of mutants, X-Men is okay. X2 is great. X2 is great. One of the best superhero movies ever made.
To come out
And so I'm saying, like, X-Men is like, I call it mid at best. Like, and looking back at it now, mid at best.
And you need that sometimes, bro. You need a starter movie to move things along, and that's okay.
Because that's what I was gonna say. Like, in their defense, like that is probably when finally it was like, oh, we can make superhero movies. That was maybe what, the fourth superhero movie made. Like when they were finally like, okay, we can start making them now, because I mean it was the first three Blades.
Might have been the second one.
Maybe the second.
Like,
Okay, maybe the second.
Yeah.
So it's in there. And I'm gonna be honest. I don't remember a lot of it now, but I remember then. Yes, best movie. And from what we're saying now, I obviously not the same storyline, but the piece that you were saying where you're like, they didn't give you all this backstory. They're like, look, you know it by now, right? One, I mean, they were correct on a lot of fronts, because I would assume about everybody watched the X-Men animated series. But I'm saying, I hope when they bring X-Men to the MCU, do the whole thing, do it like that. I am hoping that that's what they do. Don't give us all the backstories.
The only we can move on. Look, I get what y'all are saying. Like, they don't give you like all the backstory, all this, but you don't walk away from that movie not understanding every character, who they are, and their motivations. Like you don't walk away from that movie not knowing who Magneto is, not knowing who Professor X is. Mystique, like that one line from Mystique is like, I couldn't go to school because of people like you, or I was afraid to, like, I don't know. I'm just blown away that, like, y'all looking back, it's like y'all looking at like a classic and you're like, this sucks now because it's in black and white.
Ain't nobody said it sucked. Ain't nobody say it sucked.
Well, it's not good anymore because it's
I said
we have
mid at
this
best.
now. That's what I'm saying. Same thing. It's like,
and then I said
oh,
X2 is one of the greatest movies ever.
Because this isn't in color. It's not as good as like what we have now. Okay, but like you got to look at what it was when it came out. And like still, but like you gotta still keep it there. You can't.
You're not saying it in the words and in the way that Mark wants you to say it.
No. But what I'm saying, you're like it's still mid, but it's like, dog. Okay, anything compared, like anything pre Dark Knight, it's mid, I guess. That's not fair. That's not a fair assessment.
Spider-Man isn't mid.
It's not.
Spider-Man isn't mid.
It's
you know what I'm saying? Spider-Man came out a year after X-Men. You know what I'm saying? Spider-Man 2, they're not mid. You know what I'm saying? And they came out before Dark Knight. So just like Batman, that's my opinion. Batman 1
and 2 were out before that.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Superman. Superman's still one of the greatest movies ever.
All the
first Superman.
I don't remember how many.
No, hey, Otis, not all the Christopher.
No, I'm saying all. I don't know how many he did. I'm
Oh,
saying they were
slow
out.
down now, slow down.
No, I'm not saying they were good. I'm just saying they were out. Like
they were out. Yeah.
We didn't have a large body of work to really judge from a superhero movie.
And
hey, man, look,
and honestly, X-Men, like this could be a longer conversation. Maybe we need to do an X-Men movie, but like you gotta remember, this was like a good movie that we didn't get. There was such a long span of time of bad superhero movies. And this was like the first one besides Blade that was good. So in our minds, we're like, it was good and it's X-Men. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we absolutely are graving on a curve.
Look,
so
I'm not look, it's all good. It's all good. Y'all, I respect your opinions.
Back to Deadpool and Wolverine.
I was just blown away at what I heard. That's all. Back to Deadpool. Yeah.
So Shannon, what'd you think?
So I loved it. I'll say that. I know, I can't do the whole thing yet to say where does it rank in the MCU, and we were mentioning that before. That's a weird not say weird, but that's like a different type conversation. We can't really say that yet, but I'll say I really enjoyed it. Nostalgia is an amazing drug, like you said. I mean, it had me thinking some things like I'll say, like Elektra. I remember, I don't think those movies went too well, but it had me like, yo, we might need to get some more Elektra in some movies. And then, because there's that piece.
Hey, Shannon, you say Elektra is good, and after they said X-Men was like, okay, I'm leaving. I'm leaving the fuck.
No. That's why I ain't saying nothing.
But no, but that's what I'm saying. I'm like, the Elektra movies were the Elektra movie, and then obviously she was in Daredevil, but I was like, was not great. But then you see in this, and it's like that little piece of nostalgia mixed with maybe being trapped in the present also. It's like, yo, maybe we get some more. But I would say I really enjoyed it. I love the cameos. Wesley Snipes still has it. Now I know I was joking about the Elektra thing, but we need some more Wesley Snipes Blade. We might as well get it because the Mahershala Ali thing is not going to happen. That's what it seems like. So, but
you might be right.
yeah. So, but yeah, really, really enjoyed it. Love the cameos. And I think the other piece that I really enjoyed about it was I found myself at one point trying to be like, okay, so how does this fit in like the larger MCU universe? And then I caught myself and was like, you don't have to do that, Shannon. You don't have to do it. This is like, yes, it's talking multiverse stuff, but this is finally one. It is great. It does not have to fit exactly into the larger universe. You can just say it's a thing by itself. If they want to later, maybe they can pull some pieces and say, oh, this is how it fits. But for now, enjoy this movie right now without being like, oh, well, Thanos did this, so what's going to happen in the next movie? And so I'll say I really appreciated that as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree 100%, Shannon.
So I like the movie. But I might have had some different reaction than y'all. Right. I felt like, when I was watching it, I think one of the first things I was thinking was like, this is like the most Deadpool movie I've ever seen. And then I like stopped myself and I was like, I think if Deadpool watched this, he would have been like, yo, this they gone a little too far. This is a little too much. And I think at one point I turned to Otis and I was like, I bet while they were like trying to get this movie made, Ryan Reynolds and Sean Levy were like, I bet you won't let us do this, Kevin. Bet you won't let us do this. We're going to try to do this. And Kevin was like, no, I'll let you do it. I ain't no punk. Now, go ahead and do that. Go ahead and disregard the sacredity of Logan's movie and his corpse. And like, that's the opening of your movie. Go ahead. I ain't no punk.
They were like we were going to do like this, but we knew you say no.
They're like, I'm sure like Ryan and Sean were like, ain't no way Kevin's going to let us do this. I bet ask him, see what he does. And Kevin's like, I ain't no punk. And That's Deadpool and Wolverine.
Look,
This Kevin
Kevin,
Feige saying I ain't no punk.
We
So
wanted to do this, and we know you chicken out, but we just want to show you. He's like, no, you can do it. You can do it.
And they put all of it in the movie. Like all of it. And they just, if you don't like Ryan Reynolds, you hate this movie. You know what I'm saying? If you're not, if you love Ryan Reynolds, I think this movie is a perfect scale. Like how you like it depends on how much you like Ryan Reynolds. If Ryan Reynolds is your dude, like you go back Van Wilder, and Van Wilder is like, you laugh every time you see Van Wilder, this might be one of your favorite movies ever. If you hate Van Wilder, you probably walked out of this movie. Like, this is so much Ryan Reynolds. And I'm a fan. So I enjoyed it, but I don't know if I could watch this like I don't know how many more times I'm gonna watch Deadpool Wolverine. Now, scenes, I'm gonna watch a whole bunch of these scenes over and over again. There were scenes that made me laugh my butt off, like just hilarious. And then there were scenes that are like, I've been waiting for this my entire life. Like I've been wanting to watch this particular thing my entire life. And thank you, Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman, for finally giving me this. So like, there's a lot that's there, but like, I think that's part of it. It's a lot. It is a whole lot. And depending on who you are, what you find interesting, you can have a polarizing reaction to it. But I think in the heart of it, the through line is there's going to be something there that someone's going to enjoy, like regardless of who you are, because there's just so much there. So
Nels, there were moments in this movie, Nels, where I was watching it. I was like, something would happen. I was like, Nels is probably having a blast right now. I was like,
as Otis, I was.
Nels is probably like the Leonardo DiCaprio, like, oh, hey. I was like, Nels is probably having a blast right now. But I'll get into it. Nels, I think I'm kind of with you. Like, I enjoyed myself. I had a great time. This is why I go to the movies, right? To have a blast, to feel like a kid again. I had my popcorn, and then I had my cup, my Deadpool and Wolverine cup. I don't know if y'all can see that.
Can't really see
Zoom
it.
is killing it. But I was having a blast. And watching it and thinking back, like not even with Marvel movies, just with the Deadpool movies, I'll say this. I think the first two Deadpool movies, pound for pound, they're actually movies. Like there's a narrative, a start, a finish. Deadpool has a motivation throughout the whole movie. And like this movie just felt like stuff happening. It like, and I'm not, I enjoyed myself, but it just kind of felt like stuff was happening. It didn't really feel like a whole narrative, you know what I mean? But man, I had a blast. This movie feels like an award. Like it's like, yo, if you bought a ticket in 1999 or 2000 to go see X-Men, to go see Blade, like this is for you. If you saw all those movies, if you've been with us since the beginning, like this movie is for you. So it felt like an award to the fans. Watching this, I'm like, yo, like, is there anyone else besides RDJ who was born to play a character and who will like ruin it for other people? Like no one else is going to be able to play Deadpool after Ryan Reynolds is done with playing Deadpool. As the same, like episode. I feel like
this question that you just asked right now, that is an episode.
It might be like I don't know who is going to be. I mean, they'll find one because these movies make billions of dollars. But who else is going to play Iron Man after Robert Downey Jr.? Like who is going to play Deadpool after Ryan Reynolds?
They changed the character of Tony Stark in comic books, to reflect how Robert Downey Jr. plays Iron Man.
Yeah,
exactly.
Like, Tony wasn't that guy. Like he wasn't that guy in the comic books, but now he is because of RDJ. Yeah,
and it's like Ryan Reynolds. He with the he looks like Wade. He acts like, his comedy, his whole life, like Van Wilder. He was Deadpool. He was just Deadpool and Van Wilder. He was Deadpool in this. He was Deadpool
and Blade Trinity.
Yeah, he was Deadpool and Blade Trinity. He's been Deadpool his whole career. So it's like he just really fell into this and he owns it. I'm sure he's having a blast. I'm sure he loves the character. And like Shane, I think you said it. I'm fine with this being its own thing. This doesn't have to connect to anything else Marvel. We honestly, fellas, if this is the last time we see Deadpool and Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, I'm cool with it. Like the way they ended it, I'm fine. Like I'm glad where those characters.
I got closure.
Yeah,
cool
I got
with it.
closure, so like I'm good with that. But I enjoyed myself, man. It was a fun time. And Nels, I think it, like you said, if you don't like Ryan Reynolds, don't watch this movie. Like
It's
this
torture.
movie
It's
is like,
gotta be torture for you if you don't like him.
get more Ryan in there. Like so nah, the cameos were great. Like when Wesley Snipes came out, I won't cuss, fellas, but I literally out loud I was like, holy like like I said that I could not believe what I was seeing. I could not believe Wesley Snipes as Blade was in this movie. Like,
Did the theater pop when he came out? Because in our
oh dog, people were just, I think it didn't pop because people were like, oh my god, is that Wesley Snipes as Blade in the Deadpool
Like they
movie?
couldn't believe it.
They couldn't believe
Yeah.
what they were seeing, and we'll get into the cameos, but yeah, man, it was a good time. I kind of wish I kind of wish the TVA was more involved, just because I really dig the TVA from like Loki. I just like I love that. I don't know what it is, but I love when like bureaucracy is brought to like a sci-fi element, like Men in Black and stuff like that. I really dig that. And like the aesthetic of the TVA, how it looks, how it operates. But hey, I'm cool, man. I had a good time, and I think if we see Deadpool more in the MCU, I think he needs to just be like this. He needs to just pop in and pop out. I will say this: in Secret World, I don't know when. Are we getting a conclusion to that Thor scene? That
We
Thor,
better. We
like, I feel
better.
like Marvel's gonna put that in their back pocket, right?
What
And
Thor
they're gonna
scene?
like just hold on to that.
You remember it was a joke that Deadpool said like over and over again when he
Yeah.
was looking at like the different versions of Deadpool.
Oh, why is
There
Thor?
was a scene where like he was like in Thor's arms and Thor was crying. He's like, "Why is Thor crying?" He's like, "Oh, you're not supposed to see that." And he kept asking, he's like, "Why is Thor
Why is Thor
crying?"
crying?
Oh yeah. Yeah, they gonna bring that full circle.
I
Definitely.
hope so. I hope we get the some closure on that. But nah, I mean, hey, good time, fun time in the movies. I don't even want to rank it. I think it's just fine being its own little thing,
I agree.
and just keep it where it is.
Well, I do have a question for y'all because when I'm thinking about the other Deadpool movies, I think the first Deadpool it might be my favorite out of the three. And I was trying to figure out why. And I think part of it was they did such a good job in the first movie, making it like it was still him breaking the fourth wall, but it was a serious movie. Like there was serious elements in that movie,
Yeah.
and you saw like Wade's heart and like Wade's like a good, horrible person. You know what I'm saying? Like in the heart of it, he's a bad person, but he's a good guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He just, and so like, and that's Deadpool. Like, and that's why Ryan Reynolds does it so well, because like he like just nailed it. And I noticed parts of that in the second movie, but this third movie, it felt like Wade was doing the live DVD commentary while the movie was being made. Like he was just completely living outside of the movie and talking to us about the movie while the movie was being made. You know what I'm saying? Like it was like a permanent fourth wall break.
But
That just
isn't
like
that the character? Isn't I don't read Deadpool comics, so I don't know.
I think in some Deadpool's Deadpool, but like in some of the ways that Deadpool's written, yes, it's like that all the time. But I thought the reason that the first Deadpool was so great was because they capped like they knew how to contain it in a way to have like a movie.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Because like when you're talking about Deadpool breaking the fourth wall, like for a long period of time, it is a single shot comic book and it is ridiculousness. And you're buying it to know that for the next 30 pages, you're going to see Deadpool do ridiculous stuff and the story is over. You know what I'm saying? It's not like
I get you, Nels.
So.
I get you. I think it's like because I don't know what you want to call them, like the Deadpool fourth wall breaks or the deep cuts. Like there's moments where Deadpool says stuff to the camera or to the audience that like you gotta really be in the know to know. Like the scene with Blade when he's like, I don't like you, and he's like, you never did. It's like you got to know about the whole Ryan Reynolds Wesley Snipes beef on the set of Blade. Like that's a deep cut. You know what I mean? So I see what you mean.
You gotta know Ryan Reynolds is Canadian. You gotta know that he's
That
married to Blake Lively.
Hugh
Yeah.
Jackman just had a divorce.
You gotta know all that stuff. You gotta be fans. You know what I'm saying? So,
but that's why some of it was Ryan Reynolds and not Deadpool. Because and then it was also like it was like a behind the scenes thing. Like, remember the scene when he found the Wolverine, the one that we end up getting in the movie, and he takes the bottle to the head and he's like, "Oh, we're gonna record him drinking the entire bottle. Oh, we're wasting money right now." Like,
yeah,
like things like that, or like when he told Gambit, like, "Who's your dialect coach?" Like little things like that. Like it wasn't even. I don't even feel that was Deadpool anymore. I feel like that's just
even
Ryan like going in on production and stuff like that.
Even the Gambit stuff, like that whole, Channing Tatum supposed to play Gambit, that, I mean, fellas, how long was that going on that we kept hearing that was going to happen,
it was for
Long as
years.
Yeah.
Years. We made a joke about that in the earlier Pop Cult Parent episode about that Gambit. Shannon made it one of his first episodes as a host. Shannon talked about, like, weren't they supposed to be a Gambit movie? Like, for years they're gonna make that.
Yeah, and it would because I mean I'm assuming it probably would have been like the X-Men Origins Gambit, like just like how they did Wolverine, but but yeah, like you said, have been waiting for that for years, and I mean it all just aligned perfectly because I'm sure they didn't really have anything to do with X-Men 97, but it's just like this is the year of Gambit too. It feels like it's X-Men 97. He was always a character we liked, but then there's like, okay, he's that dude. He's like favorite. And then he comes here. And just the last thing about Gambit, obviously I'm gonna probably say some more because that's one of my favorite characters. But just on this little piece, the fact that I mean there was this sort of a little bit like goofiness to it that was funny, but then it was like, okay, but we're also gonna show you like how we can seriously do this character as well. Like, sure, what he's saying is funny and you're thinking it's just sort of a spoof, but then when the action scenes, I was like, this is the Gambit I want, and I finally got to see, and that was that was lovely. And the costume was 100% cartoon comic accurate. Like no
with the turtleneck.
Neck,
I don't know what you call it. The shiesty.
Yeah.
More than if I do have a criticism, I don't know what y'all think. I personally hate the concept of an anchor, and that when this one person dies in the universe, that universe is I don't know. I don't like that. I hope we don't get too much of that in the MCU moving forward. I'm like, why? Like, why make one individual? I don't know. I don't know. I didn't care for it.
I think the thing I found like peace with that was like also, God, I forgot the villain's name, buddy from Succession, but he also was like, it's like 2,500 years.
Yeah,
like,
Mr. Paradox.
Yeah, Paradox. He was like, it's like 3,000 years before like everything would fall apart anyway. So it's not a big deal, and from our perspective as humans, but I see what you're saying.
I just like, not to get existential, but it's like, why would a universe make someone an anchor who's not then there at the beginning of the universe?
So there's some like behind the scenes stuff with that. Like that's like a comic book terminology. Like when you're like drafting a series or a series within a world, you're like, okay, so who's the anchor? And they build the story around that person. So they essentially took terminology they make in comic books and put it in here. So like I just to kind of like I think they were just more so paying homage to comics versus like making a concept that we should now like adopt in the MCU. Cause like there is essentially like the DC universe's anchor is Superman. For the most part, the Marvel universe's anchor is Captain America here and there. So like it just depends on like how you kind of look at it. So I that's why I wasn't really tripping about it, because I
get from a conceptual standpoint, but like to put it in your story and be like, well, once this person dies, all existence stops. I don't know. I just wasn't.
and then
feeling it, but
and then there's like the loophole where, because like I'm sort of on your line of thinking, Mark, with that, because I'm like, yeah, when the person dies, but then even then, how long can the universe exist before the person's born? Like, it's like
then
the
what
universe is gonna exist for 5,000 years, and then the person is born,
and they live to be 12 years old, and it's like, well, it's all gone now. It's like I don't know.
Yeah.
But the last thing I want to say before we get into moments, I don't know, y'all. I thought this movie did Logan a little dirty at the end when Deadpool's like, all right, man, he saved all existence. Time to give him his universe back. And then she's like, no. What happened to you? Losing all your friends and all of them dying? That made you the man you are today.
Yeah.
See you later. And I was just like, yo, like,
yeah.
And Wolverine's like, Logan's like, you know what? Yeah. Just like, yo,
that was rough.
That was kind of, I don't know. I was like, man,
bathroom.
Logan, they did y'all.
But it was kind of like funny, like a Deadpool way, the fact that like he wasn't following any structure or rules. He just kept asking old girl, like, hey, you think you can bring Blade and Gambit back? Hey, you think he can bring his friends back? Hey, you think he can do this too? And she's like, I'll see about it, but that's really not how it works. Like we're breaking all the TVA rules right now.
Yeah.
And I hope I think we're done with the season of Loki. But I just want, if we could, let's say we get a Loki season 3, I want her to be like talking, and then like Peter is like right there, like making her lunch or something. Like I love that, like her and Peter just had this unexplained like fire. Like
I love it. I love it.
They was
I love it.
They was undressing each other.
That's how you end the movie.
Like,
immediate. You don't gotta explain it. You don't gotta like dive into it. But it's like, nah, that's
Peter
down, dog. Peter was like,
lust.
I need to know your name.
Peter's busting out the costume. She's like, you look good in that.
What was it? Like a Pootie Tang?
Yes.
I want to be your man.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. So curious on what your favorite moments are in the movie. I will start. I have several, but the one that I'll start with is, as someone who loves comic books, it was the Wolverine montage. Like all the different Wolverines, almost all of them like paid homage to like either a comic book cover or a comic book series, or like even like with Henry Cavill, like just to like play on to like stuff that people have been like guessing, like who's gonna be the new Wolverine. And like it was lovely. I think the one that I thought was hilarious was the comic book accurate Wolverine, and him being like 5'1"
or something.
Yeah.
Something silly, like 5'2", 5'3", whatever. He's like short. And it just reminded me, I don't know if y'all remember this, back when X-Men was being made, and we found out that Hugh Jackman was playing Wolverine, and we found out he was like 6'1", and we're like, nah, y'all gotta find someone else. And we were fighting. I don't know if y'all were, but I was one of the fans that was fighting tooth and nail for the brother who played Super Mario, because he was short and hairy. And we're like, that's our Wolverine.
What is that guy's name?
I don't remember his name.
Mario.
Yeah, the guy who was in Roger Rabbit. The lead. There was an army of folks, a legion of folks who were like, that's our Wolverine. Don't pick this tall, attractive Aussie man who can act and sing and dance. Pick this random guy. Yeah. So
that's so funny, because like fans, Broken Clock is right twice a day, right? Because
he's 5'4".
Yeah.
They did the same thing with Gal Gadot, right? Remember, they're like, Gal Gadot's gonna play Wonder Woman. Like, no, and everyone knew why they didn't. They're like, the breast, like that's what they wanted to say. That's what they all wanted to say. They're like, but Wonder Woman, butt side, And then, but yo, the fans were right about Sonic. They're like, no, fix it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It that's hilarious though. It's like that's why you kind of listen to fans, but you don't listen to fans.
Yeah,
right. Because you can make anybody look tall or short. Like you can handle that.
Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is always as tall, like if not taller than like the women in the
he's as tall as Henry Cavill in that one. It's like, nah, dog. Like that's
in real life he's what, like 5'8", I don't even know. Anyway, he's short. He might be 5'5" or something, but yeah, they make him look like it.
Nels, that montage, that was a scene when I was like, oh, Nels is having a ball, dog. I was like, Nels is like having a good old
I
time.
immediately I was like, oh, I know what that one's from. I know what that one's from. Oh, I know what cover that is. I was having a ball. The Mandapore scene was so, oh my goodness, lovely.
I mean, that was we
Chef's
got
kiss.
the black and tan, right?
Yeah.
We got the black and tan. We got the
he called it out too.
Wolverine versus the Hulk.
Yes.
Yeah.
What else was in there? There was
Patch. That's
yeah.
the version of Wolverine is like what casino type dude.
You know, him and Hulk. Yeah, him and Hulk on the cover on that one.
Yeah. That's the Matterport. Yep. Mm-hmm. And then you had the one where he was like on the X.
Mm-hmm.
Good old
Some
time.
crazy stories in there, man. Some crazy stories in there. They had the one with the future where he had the missing hand.
Yep.
But the claws still come out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yo, do you mind if I do my favorite moments? Because I think I'm about to take this mask off, fellas. Like this joint is killing me. Like, oh golly, hurry up with the podcast. But
go ahead.
One, I'm gonna start with the opening of the movie. The killing of with the Logan skull and skeleton and bye bye. And Deadpool hitting it like I was like, yo, Deadpool is kind of crushing it right now, you know. That was great. I was like, this is probably one of my favorite movie openings in a long time.
You think that was really Ryan dancing, or that had to be a stunt?
No, that wasn't Ryan dancing.
If it was, damn. Like, like this dude is super talented, but I don't know. I don't think that was it.
They had a professional dancer do it.
Okay. So I was like, yo, like that. Like if that, I'm glad you said that, Nels, because if that was him, that would make me depressed. Because like, how was someone that talented that like, not only he can act, you know, all this stuff, but like he hitting the bye hard, like he hitting it hard,
like better than In Sync.
Yes,
I was like, damn, Deadpool's getting it. He's been waiting for this moment. This is clearly his jam.
His whole life. You know, we talked about the cameos a little bit. The Wolverine and Deadpool fight in the minivan.
Mm-hmm.
That was probably my favorite part of the movie. Like, first of all, when Logan just unleashes on him, that speech, and I thought Deadpool was gonna get out the car and like start crying. That hurt me, though. But that fight was great. Just that to have these two characters who have this healing factor in this close proximity, and then when it time lapses and it's like night and they're both asleep and Deadpool's tied up in the seatbelt. Like that was great.
So can we talk about that scene for a second?
Yeah.
Feel free to take the mask off whenever you want to, brother. But yeah, I've heard like because we know like Deadpool's like pansexual, and I've heard some folks insinuate that like that scene actually symbolized that they got it in the bed. And so like when you see it at the end and they're kind of like resting, relaxing, you see the blood everywhere. You're kind of just supposed to like assume that like they had got it in. Hey, I was curious if y'all had like some takeaways.
Well, let me just say, hey, internet, we're just talking about this because we heard it on the internet. Y'all be coming for us for anything.
That's true. That's true.
We're just talking about this because other people are. So I'm just
we heard them say it, and now we saying it. We're not saying that we said it. We heard other people say it.
Look. I know the Olympics are in Paris, but I don't know all this weed coming from. Bill said
it. all this weed stuff. Like,
I'm here for one night only. Don't put me.
I'm here for a good time, not a long time.
Smart.
Yo, I didn't even think about that, Dale. I mean, now that you said that, it wouldn't surprise me if that's like an inside joke or something like that. I didn't even think about that, but yeah, like Deadpool is pansexual. I mean, they make note of it when he's looking at Wolverine's abs in that one scene. So like, I mean, I don't know. I guess
Well, just throughout, like when the TVA got him at the birthday party and like pulled him out, like that whole exchange of like when they were like pulling out like their zapping things that send you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a whole hilarious, but yeah.
True. Yeah, was yours, Mark?
I was just gonna mention one more thing,
Okay,
and I
yeah.
bet y'all will mention this. Dog, the Chris Evans cameo, it got me. It like, and I appreciate it because it made me laugh. But I was like, oh, Cap's in the movie. Like, I was like, yeah, Cap. And then for him to go flame on, bruh, I was like, yo, clap, clap, clap.
Well done.
Standing ovation. That was beautiful. I was not expecting that. And it's like, you should have expected it. We should have known that was going to happen. But like, that was beautiful. That was so funny.
That was in the theater we're in. That was probably it was like maybe the second, third loudest moment was when he turned into Johnny Storm. So, or when I guess he was Johnny Storm when he like said flame
He
on.
revealed.
I was not expecting it. That like blew my mind.
Bro, you were sweating.
You were glistening. You were glistening.
Let me see. All right, I'm gonna take this off.
Hilarious. Oh man, I gotta find that mask. Yeah.
Coming down.
Otis, did you do your favorite moments yet?
No, I didn't. Do I need to wait for him to come back? Or
no, please go ahead. Give a distraction while he gets himself together.
For
probably
me,
check on
I'm just gonna do. I'm just gonna do like one because I can go on, but I think for me, the number one for me was when Wolverine put the mask on.
Thank you.
That was, and if you remember, Nils, I started clapping and cheering like a parent.
Can we talk about that? I know you got to talk more, but I just want to talk about that.
Like it was, because you got to think about, like we were just talking about, like X-Men came out in 2000. It's 24 years, and I remember my only letdown in that movie was. Now I might get back into it, but one of my letdowns in the movie was like Wolverine didn't have the fit, and like not all the characters had their fits, right? And I'm just like, man, like it's such an iconic thing. And I don't know if y'all remember this, it obviously it came out on DVD, and I remember like my brother and I got my mom to get us the DVD, although we didn't have to convince her because she wanted it too. And I remember we watched it together and we watched all the deleted scenes. And there's a deleted scene where they're about to go out to go fight Magneto, and he stops and there's like the original costume, like in a case or something, and he kind of dismisses it and goes out. He hits him with the Terrence Howard next time, baby. Next time, baby. And so I was like, okay, maybe they'll do it, but then they kept doing all of these X-Men movies, and it just got further and further away from him.
Yeah.
Wearing it, and I'm just like, damn, like it's never gonna happen. So, and even throughout the movie, I was happy he had on just the costume itself, but I was like, damn, like they really still not gonna go all in. So for me, like that mask on was just like, if I think people, we all said it in our own way, like that's when I was like, I'm good now. I don't need anything else from you for X-Men. Like I'm good. Like that chapter for me.
Otis, I'm glad you brought that up because I think that just shows where we are now with like comic book movies, because we were told like, no, you don't want this. This is dorky. Like you don't like. I think they only could do it like I'm surprised with Spider-Man. The first Spider-Man, we got his suit. You know what I mean? like I'm surprised they didn't make it just it's gonna be gray or something.
Yeah.
Because all these movies leading up to like the MCU and it's like no. The original take is weird. It's dorky. You want this. You don't want the mask on. You want this. And even
jacket.
Exactly. And then even like we're talking about Deadpool, the fact that when the Deadpool movie came out, they let Ryan Reynolds be in the mask. Do y'all remember there was like a crisis in like the first couple early 2000 superhero movies? They always had to take their mask off. Tobey Maguire had to take his mask off. It's like, because they want to see the movie stars. Like, no, fool, I'm here to see Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I don't give I don't care about Tobey. I'm here to see Spider-Man. And it's like, I don't know. I don't know if Deadpool kind of ended that. Maybe Iron Man did or Dark Knight. But like it's like, man, no, this is what we came to see. We came to see this character, and I think that plays into it too. Like, yo, people want to see Wolverine. That is Wolverine. He's got his yellow and blue, and he's got his Batman mask on, and that's what we want. So I think it's just beautiful that that's where we are now in these movies, where we just accept the original costumes.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, I think like part of that was like the Matrix effect, like it, and I'm saying like the Bryan Singers, like their thing, because the Matrix came out and people were like, they liked it and everything. They were like, oh no, people will like dark leather and this and that. Like, yeah, no, they won't. They don't want the bright colors and this and that. The Matrix was a hit. We want dark leather and this and that.
That's a good call.
Yeah.
Belt buckles and boots and all that. Like,
yeah.
When Matrix came out in like 2000, so there was probably something that happened before that influenced Matrix and X-Men. I don't know what it was.
Blade, right? The first Blade.
I mean,
Blade. It was Blade. It was Blade.
But
that's what it was. It was Blade.
I think it's just like like Kamala Harris, right? She's running for president. It's like, who's going to be her safe VP pick? It's like, what could we do that's going to be safe? Like, we can't put these guys in yellow and blue spandex. We just can't. The fact that Fox is letting us do this, we got to do it right. You know what I mean? So I think it was just like people were just trying to be safe. And it's like, hey, black looks good. Black looks good on camera. Let's put them in leather. It looks tactical. It'll be cool. You know what I mean? I think they just played it safe.
The first few, I dig it, but I felt like it was still room where they could have done it. Like, remember when X-Men First Class dropped? I mean, they could have did anything in that, right? Like, we were ready. Like, they had the backing and they still didn't even touch it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, that was my moment, man. When he pulled it on, like, Niels will tell you, like, I went crazy.
I mean, Otis, you said what I was thinking. Like, I was so happy, y'all. I don't have the words. Like, seeing him put it, everything was perfect. The way he put it on, how it looked, it was everything I wanted. And thank you, Hugh. Like, that's what I wanted. Like, I got to see Wolverine with the mask on. I'm just gonna say the same thing over and over again, y'all. Like, it was dope. It was dope to see.
Let me ask y'all, especially like Otis and Nails. Is there anything left in comic book movies like that you have not gotten yet? That you like, I need this. Not like a cameo or a versus, but like,
I have one, and y'all all know it. I say it over and over again.
Go ahead.
Dr. Doom done right.
Oh yeah.
That is my number one favorite comic book villain. And I'm not even Super Mario. I'm DC. I'm a DC head. But Dr. Doom is the greatest comic book villain ever, in my opinion. Well, sorry, besides Joker. Like, he is up there. In my opinion, he's the second best comic book villain. And he's my favorite. And I haven't seen him done right live action.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like I might. I don't know. I don't know. I still don't know how to feel about it. I know the actor. I know he's gonna kill it.
They done cut the check, so they go put out some content.
He better do it right,
like it or not.
So
that's
true.
I
I might be getting what I want, but that and T'Challa and Storm's wedding, and okay. I'll be good. I have nothing else I need to see. If I get those two things, and maybe a Silver Surfer movie, those three, I'm done. I'm being a little greedy, but those are the things that I want.
Cool. I'll say sorry. Yeah. Oh,
no, you go ahead.
Okay. No, I was gonna say my favorite part. Go ahead and say that. But did you have anything? Okay. Nah. So, but I was gonna say my favorite part of the movie. Agreeing with the parts that you all said, love those. But I think my favorite part was the big fight, Deadpool and Wolverine versus all the other Deadpools.
Yeah.
That was so much. It was just so much action that I'm like, I knew watching it right then, I can't wait until this comes out on streaming, because I'm going to have to watch this part over and over because like right now I'm trying to balance between what's Wolverine doing, what's Deadpool doing, like watching them both. And I know I'm just going to have to watch it and look only at what Wolverine did during that fight, and then I'm gonna have to rewind it, watch it again, and look at only what Deadpool did, because they were both just going at it, so much action. And then so there's that, and then there's just another piece of that as well that has me thinking. I mean, I thought of Nas for a second. So y'all remember with Stillmatic, Nas, what is it? He put his daughter as like an executive producer, and so therefore just like keeping the money in the family like that. But anyway, this part just hit me because I'm like, Ryan Reynolds did this. His entire family was in the movie. Like his wife was Lady Pool. Their newest little baby was what, Baby Pool or whatever it's called, and then what, Kid Pool was like their oldest daughter. I'm just like, you not only do you have this, but you got your entire family in there. So therefore, your entire family is getting some type of check from this, and obviously you're getting a fat one from this, and it's just going to be a continual thing. It just little things like that that are like, man, you did that, and you know, and it makes you a little jealous because like, dang, I wish I would create something big and just like, you know, have my whole family listed as producers or whatever. But anyway, there's that little real life piece of it. But then also, like I said, I think with all those pieces, definitely that fight scene was probably my favorite. Just even leading up to it, it was hilarious. The stuff he was doing with a Nice Pool, and just to find out that he couldn't regenerate.
Poor Nice
He died from murder, you freaking
Poor Nice Fool. He did him dirty.
He
did.
But yeah, vicious.
I don't know if we talked about quotes. That end credit scene with Chris Evans, might be one of my favorite post credit scenes in all the, like, they let him cook, like.
But all right, I have a theory on how that went down. I have a theory. I've told Otis this. This is what I think happened. I could be wrong, but this is what I think happened. I think when it was that Cassandra Nova scene and Deadpool like says, and this is what Johnny Storm said, and said that whole thing, I bet you money they were like, all right, Chris, so Ryan's just going to like say a whole bunch of stuff that you say. You're going to have to memorize it and then like say it like again. And Chris was like, cool, yeah, all right. And Ryan Reynolds like improvises that whole thing. And the reason he's doing it like that, because he's like, I'm going to get Chris Evans to say all of this stuff and just F with him. Like, I think that whole thing was just to mess with Chris Evans. And Chris Evans like, I'm going to show you, and literally does the whole thing.
It was beautiful. No, I like that theory. I like that theory. It was a beautiful scene. Like, I just like the dynamic of that scene, because like Johnny's just he's like, let me tell you about Cassandra, and Deadpool like, go on, Johnny. He just like.
But the fact that like the whole movie, like we were like, dang, Deadpool, that's dirty, man. You got that man killed. Or the fact that like Logan the whole time was like, man, you got that man killed. Like, why would you do that? Like, like we were all disappointed in Deadpool for doing that, like for the whole movie. I'm like, come on, bro, that's dirty. And he was like, he really said it.
And I'll tell you what, Wade, he's just so like comfortable.
And speaking of that, I was just like, I mean, it was just a random thing later. I was like, this sounds horrible. I'm like, at a cookout, that is how you want your chicken, your barbecue. Like, it was just falling off the bone. I was like, that is a cookout. But anyway, that was horrible.
I think that makes me think too. The other thing I really liked about it was they really did a great job, and you knew this was going to be the theme of the movie, but like the difference in Deadpool and Wolverine and their personalities, their character. And even though Wolverine, like, he's known as like F everything and everybody and F rules as far as like X-Men goes, but like he still has like a code, you know what I mean? And Deadpool's kind of like, I kind of got a code, but it depends on who's around. And like the little lines from like Logan when he would be like, hey man, why would you do that? You just got this man killed. Like Barry just like that's not cool. Or
that is all Professor X. That is the beauty of Professor X. That that little like part that he has in Logan showed up in this part of in that aspect of the movie. It was beautiful.
Even like when Gambit has his line and he's like, hey guys, I don't think you're gonna come back from this. Like, hey, like,
Mhm.
time out. Like, you're gonna die.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't a good thing.
Ooh, gonna make a name for myself.
Yeah. So I don't think you guys come back from this.
Dog, with shout out to Channing Tatum because like that whole Gambit stuff, I was getting like the farmer friend from Waterboy, like yeah, on there, there was that.
Yeah.
Come on now, the you know. But let it bide another day. Let it bide another day.
Oh man, dog, that accent was bad, so
Dog,
bad.
I just and the
So
fact
that's
that my bad, just like Deadpool is like, what are you saying? He's like, I can't.
So here goes my question, and this is like maybe like a dumb question. This is for y'all, and I asked Nils this too. Do you think that the accent was bad on purpose to show that like this movie would probably not have been good anyway because he would have had to talk like that for an hour and 45 minutes? Or do you think that it was him showing like I could really do this, but I'm just gonna say like some funny things along the way? I think it's the former, but I'll let y'all.
I I think, man, I don't know. I think it was done bad on purpose because like
Okay.
Gambit has a Cajun accent, but like you can understand the words coming out of his mouth. Like I said, that was Farmer Fran from Waterboy. Like oh, they're gonna do the pool. Come on, mon chéri. Like what? Like what?
Yo, who played Gambit? You probably know this, Shannon. Who played Gambit in the
Yeah, the X-Men Wolverine,
yeah.
the origins. I
Um,
forget his name, but it's
oh
the
my God, the
same
Friday
dude.
Night
He
Lights.
plays Tim Riggins on Friday Night Lights.
Yeah.
it's he's in that Mars movie too, and
Yeah,
he's in
he's John
Battleship.
Connor.
Yeah, John.
Yeah,
Did he have
what
an
is that dude's
accent? I can't
name?
remember.
I don't know
feel
if he
like
had an
did.
accent.
I
Yeah,
don't think he
I feel
really
like he
did. Okay.
Maybe he did. I don't know. I don't remember. But
when he said Remy LeBeau, like when he said his name, he had an accent, but like
Yeah.
the rest of the time, he didn't really have an accent like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But yeah, and I mean,
I think it was bad on purpose. I think I don't know what y'all think, but there is no way that for the Channing Tatum movie they would have Channing Tatum having it. Channing Tatum, I was about to say, let me not be mean. Channing Tatum is an actor, right? I'm not gonna rank what kind
careful,
of actor
Nels.
he is.
Careful. No.
Channing Tatum is an actor. And like
I think to talk about X-Men, but you talk about my sweet Channing Tatum. You gonna put the mask back on.
Watch it,
top five dead or alive.
I just
Gotta
feel
put
like
that- watch it
accent
out
aren't
there.
his bag. Like accent is not. You don't hire Channing Tatum because you're like, bet I need you to like use these accents. You know what I'm saying? So my assumption is they wouldn't have had him do an accent, like maybe like certain moments, but they probably would have surrounded him with folks who are having like a range of Cajun accents, in my opinion. That's at least how I would have done it. Yeah. All right. Any other favorite moments or quotes, y'all?
I mean, I know we're missing some, but yeah. We'll probably think of more as we go on.
For me, it's just like we talk about like the big cameos, but I think like the small cameos, like Pyro, like
Yeah.
Yo, that's like the original one. Or Niels put me on like, and I had to go back and watch, like it was the original
Sabretooth.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then even when they're there at the Cassandra's like home base, whatever, there's a lot of people from like previous X-Men movies. What's the guy? The red guy. I forget his name.
Oh yeah, he was from First Class.
First Class.
Yeah.
The chick with the wings. I saw her in there. There's like a bunch of little tiny cameos like sprinkled all throughout this thing. I mean, we haven't even mentioned X-23. Like I was like, oh my God. I was like, they got the girl in it too. Like
a funny thing about that, when they went to the cave and everything, and so obviously Elektra comes out and Blade, like you mentioned the pop, like when Blade came out, I'm like going crazy. And then X-23 comes out And I mean, obviously, it's great to see her, and I'm like clapping. I like clap for her too, but I'm like more so trying to do it so I don't seem sexist or something. Because everybody like, oh wow, wow. When the woman came out, you ain't say nothing, but I was just like, it was such a pop for Blade.
But it's Blade, though.
Yeah, yeah.
Blade.
But I just remember purposely, like when I saw her, like if it hadn't have been for Blade, I would have been like, oh yeah, cool, yeah, that's what's up. But I had to be like, oh yeah, woo, yeah, for her too.
But it was dope to see her now. She's like grown up and like,
Yeah.
I thought that was dope too. But I just think overall, just like the way they really weaved in cameos
Yeah.
throughout was
And
really
it was small, but her and Logan kind of like bonding.
at the
I
fire.
forgot what she said, but she's like, "You're just like my Logan," like
Yeah,
that was really dope.
yeah.
Yep.
That was
I
good.
agree.
The only thing I was thinking about, kind of to your point, like what would you want to see? I feel like when they kind of kept going to like the flashback thing or whatever, or when she was in his head, I thought they were going to give us a peek into what really happened in Logan's world. And they
Yes,
showed
man.
it, and I selfishly wanted to see that because I just wanted to see more mutants and see how they like were portrayed them and
Or
whatnot.
what happened? Like, I know he describes what happened. I would have liked to have seen
The
what
humans
happens from his
came, and
perspective.
Let me
yeah,
let me ask y'all something. The comic book experts here. What I know there's a difference, but like tone, right, and character motivation wise, what is the difference between Logan and then the Wolverine in this movie? Like, how come it couldn't have been Logan from Logan? Because essentially it's like this, like Logan, like all the X-Men are dead. He's depressed. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the difference?
I'll go first, Niels, because I think you'll
Mm.
probably get it right better than me. But I think he was Logan when he walked up on him. And I think he had to embrace the Wolverine to get through this new world wherever he had going on. Because Logan is like that loner that always survives no matter what. And it's almost like it's like the gift and the curse. His curse is like, no
Yeah.
matter what happens, I'm still gonna be here. So I think he was Wolverine for a time. And I think when everybody died, he was just Logan again. But when he got brought into this world with Deadpool, he's like, all right, I gotta be Wolverine again to get through this. Logan's not gonna be enough.
That's it. That's essentially it. And if you think there's a series called Old Man Logan, and the first like part of Old Man Logan is like just showing Logan as he's living now as an old man who is just like a slave to the Hulk kingdom and just like kind of just like going by and doesn't really care about life. And then when he has like the call to action, he's badass Wolverine all over again. And so like he just needs something to care about and like to motivate him to get right back into it. And I agree with Otis. I think that's what we got. We got a typical Wolverine character that didn't have motivation, and all he needed was motivation again to become a hero.
I guess what
that's
I'm
it.
asking is, would this movie have been the same if Deadpool took the Logan from the Logan movie would it have been the same movie?
No. That Logan, no, I'm gonna say no because that Logan was really, really, really embedded in principles. And like you gotta think about it, he was living with Charles, you know what I'm saying? He was taking care of Charles. Like him and Charles were talking every day. So that was the best, the most moral version of Logan you would have got. So I
Yeah.
feel like he
Mm-hmm.
would have had a hard no to a lot of the things that was happening in there. Versus this one's kind of like, all right, let's do it. Like the way they
Yeah,
fought the moment they got there, like, and he didn't hold back at all from the beginning, you know.
yeah.
Yeah. I agree. Well, y'all, uh, to wrap things up, I'm curious where do y'all think Marvel goes from here? Like, I think a few of y'all said like if we don't see Deadpool or Wolverine again, cool with it. Like this was a great way to like end their arcs. Is a great way to pay homage to like the Fox universe. We know Fantastic Four is coming up, but like what is next for Marvel? And in particular, I'm curious, what are y'all excited about? Because I'm actually having a hard time getting excited about like stuff in general. There's a few things that I'm very much so looking forward to, but I'm curious from y'all's perspective. What do y'all think's next for Marvel? And I'll tie this in a bow with saying Marvel made a lot of money with this movie.
Mhm.
A lot of money. And I personally am like, they've been hurting for money recently. And if corporations are corporations, they're gonna be like, this is making money. Q, bring your ass back.
I mean, he said
you're gonna be doing this till you're 90.
Leave those musicals alone, big dog. You need to
Yeah.
come back over here and give us another one.
So I'm curious, what do y'all think?
Yeah, I'll mention right quick. So one, I venture to say we're not gonna have a lot of them, but I think we might have a couple more R-rated hero movies. Obviously it's gonna be dependent because you won't really be able to flip-flop. Like you're not gonna be like, oh, we did a PG-13 Fantastic Four, and then Fantastic Four Part 3 is rated R. Like they won't be able to flip-flop. But I think there will be certain characters or movies that will be rated R. I also think obviously like mutants are definitely coming. We know that. But I think maybe because I'm more so embedded still thinking about X-Men 97, I think they'll still be like yes, Wolverine is a favorite, but I think they will do a lot more of saying this is how cool the X-Men are, and we can focus and do some stuff with Cyclops and the crowd favorite that everybody loves, Jubilee, of course, and but truly
Jubilee, the crowd favorite.
but truly I think they will really be able to do some stuff and be like, boom, X-Men, and it's really being X-Men, not Wolverine and the crew, so I think they'll be able to do some more of that. And this sounds wild to say because this whole thing was a multiverse type of stuff, but they might sort of chill on the multiverse stuff, and that's what I'm hoping, that they really chill on that and just make it like, this is what is happening here. There's not always a doorway to 7 different variants of you. That's what I think. That's what I hope. That's what I'm hope the direction they go in.
Yeah. No, I think you're right, Shane. I think they're gonna chill in the multiverses. Until you were saying some stuff, Shannon, it might be interesting. They might take with the approach with the Avengers, they might take the same approach with the X-Men. What I mean by maybe we do get a Jubilee little origin movie, or maybe we get like a little Cyclops, or maybe we get movies leading everyone up to becoming the X-Men. Because clearly they're like, okay, these standalone mutant movies can make money. So maybe we take time building the X-Men, and like maybe X-Men isn't the first movie. I don't think they're gonna go that route. I think like we're so steeped in comic book lore, like the first X-Men MCU movie is gonna be like right in there, not explaining really who these characters are, which is fine. But maybe they're like, hey, maybe we can like build this up to the X-Men like we did with the Avengers. As far as like the MCU, I'm not gonna lie, I'm excited for the Fantastic Four. One, because it's a period movie. I don't know if y'all saw the leaked trailer, but like it looks like one of those movies that you're gonna like everything about it that makes it a movie. What I mean is like the costumes, the sets, like it's like it is the 60s. You know what I mean? It looks really, really well done aesthetically, like the production design. And like I gotta be hyped for the X-Men. I gotta see what the people who made Endgame, Black Panther, Guardians, like I gotta see what they do with the X-Men. Like, we've kind of talked about this before. People are like, oh, the MCU's dead, they're done. It sucks. And like I've been through this, man. I kind of hate, if you don't want to watch any more MCU, that's cool. You don't have to. But it's like, yo, these people gave you 10 plus years, 20 plus movies that were all really, really like maybe A plus or better. And it's like, it's been what, 5 okay movies? Not even like horrible, just like okay movies. People are like, this is freaking garbage and we're done with it. Like, I'm like, yo, chill. Like Like it's hard to follow Endgame.
It's the UN's men's basketball team winning silver in the Olympics. That's what it is. This is a travesty.
Kerr said it. He said we gotta win gold every time. It's so much.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yo, let's
send Robert
chill.
Downey Jr. We cannot
get him in.
afford silver.
Right, send Braun.
Thank you, Jackman, whatever he needs. We'll do it again. Bring these old men back here.
Get him back.
Oh, God.
Get him back. He's Feige's like Disney execs were like, get him back. He's like, I don't know. I don't know if he'll come back. He's like, get him back. They show they got like Feige's family. Papa, please. Brian, please don't hurt him. It's like, I'll get him back. I'll get him back. I'll call him back.
Yep. That's what happened.
Why don't you pick up the phone, Kevin? Hello, Kevin? Sheila? they said they want Robert Downey Jr. back. They're serious. Like,
just do it.
All because of silver.
Mickey Mouse holding
because of silver.
If you ever want to see your family again, damn you.
Yeah, that's sweet Disney money.
But it's like, yo, I gotta give the people who made Black Panther, Endgame, and etc. a chance to do the X-Men. Like that's where I'm at. It's like I gotta see what you do with one of the greatest comic book teams ever created. I gotta give you that at least. And then if you fumble that, then maybe I'm out. You know?
Yeah. Here's okay. Oh, you done? I'm gonna go.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I got more questions than answers, but so the thing I'm the most excited about for Marvel is X-Men 97 and where that continues to go. I think that's the thing that's got me the most excited, and I loved every second of it, and I can't think of something I felt that way about in a while. So I'm excited where that goes. Keep me honest because it's late. The final scene on X-Men 97, they went into real time, right? And it was in another universe, and Beast was taking care of somebody. Am I making this up?
They went all over the place.
Yeah.
So like
it was like real actors, right? It was like
stuff.
Well,
no,
the
you
end
think
of
about
the Marvels.
No, my bad. I'm thinking the Marvels. My bad.
Beast is with Homegirl, but he looks like, my theory was that is the Beast from X-Men 97 because he looks like the 97 Hank McCoy.
Yeah. And that was Chelsea playing him, right?
Yeah, Kelsey Grammer. Yeah.
Chelsea, yeah. Okay. All right, my bad. I'll run it because I realized that X-Men 97 they were in the different. They met Apocalypse before he knew. Okay, my bad. But what I will say, and this is answering another one of your questions, Mark. You're like, what is something you want to see? I know this sounds like small potatoes, but to me, this is just to me. I felt that Apocalypse was probably one of the most scary villains, in my opinion, across everything. And I feel like the show and the comics give him justice, like the old show would give him justice. But I feel like that terrible movie they did, and yes, that movie was terrible, so don't argue with me there. But when they introduced
that was a terrible movie. Yes, we are in agreement, brother. That was a horrible movie.
Yeah, it was actually,
no, go ahead.
It was terrible, and I'm like, Apocalypse is so like, I know he's not like was Omega level or whatever, but like his arsenal, everything he has and what he's capable of doing is like so like dark and whatnot, and I don't think they even scratched the surface. So I would like to see that. Now, what I think is next, the last thing I'll say is, I know y'all say like they're gonna stop the whole multiverse thing, but the way they're gonna get Robert Downey Jr. to play Doom, I think they're gonna have to. I think the lazy thing to do is just to create this Fantastic Four storyline and just say, hey, I know y'all know him as Iron Man, but he's not Iron Man anymore. He's Doom, and they're just gonna play it. But I think what they're going to do is go to some of those comic book stories where actually Tony Stark was Doom and like all that kind of weird stuff happening. And I think that's the route they're going to go, and they're going to play in a multiverse for that to happen. They could, but
Otis, I'm glad you mentioned that, because I think the thing we're all forgetting about is the end of Endgame and Cap bringing all the Infinity Stones back to the point in time. And I think I've said on this podcast before, I think when Cap brings back the I think it's the Tesseract or whatever to the 60s, I think maybe that is how we're going to get the Fantastic Four into play into the MCU. So we have a lot to work with right there. That's not necessarily like multiverse, but it's like different timelines. So maybe that's how.
Yeah, yeah. Okay,
We
multiverse
go.
timeline. I'll just say
Yeah,
timeline.
it's like, I mean, yeah, same thing, I guess.
Yeah.
But like maybe that's a way we go instead of like being like, oh, this multiverse, that multiverse, or maybe it's like that thread. Maybe that segment of time creates new threads and storylines.
Yeah, yeah. So that's that. And then if they're gonna do the live action movie, obviously like X-Men is number one to me out of all the stories. So I'm gonna always be optimistic, especially to your point, Mark. Like the people that gave us he gave us Thriller, man. He gave us
He made Thriller.
like I'm never gonna doubt you. Like
Come on, man. Like
I'm gonna give you a shot no matter what. So yeah,
you gotta give the studio that made Winter Soldier. I mean, you gotta give him a shot. You gotta give him a shot.
so yeah, I'm excited about that. And Secret Wars too. Like we've been talking about this for forever. So if they get that right, that'll be really, really dope.
Yeah.
Shannon, you want to? You look like you got it.
Okay, yeah, I'll just say a random. When you were saying this, Mark, and Otis, it made me think of this. So, I think recently they put out their stuff like, oh, these are our shows and movies that are coming out soon. Ironheart, this and that. If I'm not mistaken, it's going to be a limited series or something coming out, but it's going to sort of chronicle as Captain America returned all the Infinity Stones to their correct timeline.
I think it's going to be animated. Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
And I think Chris Evans is going to voice it, Captain America.
So,
yeah.
But with that, as y'all were just saying, like how the Fantastic Four come into play. I mean, this will be animated, and you've already heard my thing. I'm like, I have no problem with you making an animated thing and then saying this is how it ties into the real like live action movie. But if that is the route they go, I'm like, I could see how each Infinity Stone, where it's placed back in a timeline, does something, can then end up turning into, oh, this is how this person comes to power or come into the picture. So I'm just making this up, but I can see how they were like, okay, we put the whatever stone back here, and then this is how Doctor Doom now comes into play, and then this and that. So
because I think even doesn't What If like run parallel with the Earth 616?
With like other universes.
Well,
they're
so
all different
like
universes.
What If is canon, right? But it's its own like universes and stuff like that.
Depends on how you define canon. Yeah, but like it's a multiverse. It's like a look of a multiverse. So you're seeing other universes at play and what's happening in those other universes.
Yeah.
So
one thing, fellas, I meant to mention, and we haven't really talked about her. Cassandra, the actress killed it. That I don't know if that's how her power is interpreted in the comics, but that was so cool. Like the fingers in your like head and stuff, like that was wild. But I kind of hope this isn't the end of Cassandra. I hope she comes back. I think she could be like the big bad of this universe going forward.
Yeah.
Yes, because bro, they didn't scratch the surface with Cassandra Nova. She is horrible, yo. She is a terrible person. Like horrible. Like I would love if they do X-Men, and if they do it right, y'all, they have so much to work with.
That's what I said. You can go so many different ways.
Ridiculous. Like Apocalypse, Onslaught, shoot, just Magneto, Cassandra Nova. Like there is just folks who were extras in X-Men 97 that can straight up be a movie villain for an X-Men movie. Like, they have so much to play with.
Sinister,
I don't know.
I think they downplayed him a little bit in X-Men 97. I'm like, Sinister is a standalone.
Sinister is a big bad.
Yeah.
He is a big bad.
Oh man, I mean, after Gene was throwing them pool tables and jukeboxes at him, I would have been like, yo, I'm done with villainy.
That was hilarious because I'm like, that is not Mr. Sinister style. He is fight you. He's like, I'm here to like outthink you. Like,
Yeah, he's like,
5
throw
years.
hands
Yeah.
for what?
Yeah, he don't throw hands. So that
I'll
I
just
love
pay
that.
these horrible villains like Sabretooth, who all he knows is how to kill. I'll just pay him thousands of dollars to fight you.
Yeah.
Y'all figure
Yeah.
it out. I ain't about to get my hands dirty.
Sabretooth just
Yeah.
gonna take 1,000 too, just to get like a Dodge Charger.
Yep.
Dodge Charger. What do you got? Well, I got a coupon to Wendy's, and I'll take it. It's like killing a busload of people for some shoes. But yo, one thing I do hope we see. I just thought about this. I want to see Hulk versus Wolverine. Like, I know we got a glimpse at it. I want to see that. I want to see, if I don't know if it's a movie, a miniseries, I want to see that story.
A live action version of that.
Yes, a live action of that. And I kind of want to see what the MCU does with Weapon X, like the team Weapon X. What was it? Wasn't it like Deadpool and like
X-Force?
Is it X-Force or what? When it was like, it's like Wolverine and a bunch of other.
There's a
like Omega Red,
whatever they're called, like whatever their Task Force X of them. X-Force there's like 2 different type of X-Force teams. It gets a little confusing, but like
whatever one Logan is on, I want to see that in live action.
Yeah.
Well, you kind of got that with Wolverine
Origins.
Like that's what
that was the Weapon X team.
Well, done well.
You want to see it done better. Like, do it again.
Movies wasn't done well.
And that's low-key what that's what Deadpool 2 was. It just didn't have Wolverine in it. Like, that's essentially the team.
Yeah.
You just add Wolverine and that's the team. So you see it in a few places, but I hear you.
You know what I mean. You know.
Well, y'all, I got one thing, and then we can wrap it up. I'm kind of excited for what's going on in Marvel. Like y'all, I'm looking forward to X-Men. They have to get X-Men right. So if it's gonna take a while for them to get it right, take all the time you need, bro. Just let it happen before I die. Just let me see it. But part of the reason I have full confidence in Marvel and Disney is because one thing that they both have in common is they're petty. Marvel is petty and Disney is petty. And I actually think this Superman movie is going to be good. Like, I actually think it's going to be good. And I actually think, what's Buddy's name? Why am I forgetting his name?
Who's playing Superman?
No, the guy who does Guardians, who now runs DC.
James Gunn.
Yeah.
I actually think James Gunn is going to come out with some, like, the stuff that he's about to do at DC is going to be good. And that's the last thing Marvel and Disney want to see is Warner Brothers and DC doing well.
Get in there.
They're going to be like, nah. And so they're going to come back because every time Marvel just shows a bit of life, or DC, every time Disney shows a bit of life, Marvel is like, hell nah. It just comes like they bring a gun to a knife fight. They're like, oh, hell no.
Oh, that's a pretty nice movie franchise. Be ashamed if anything happened to it.
And like, not to cut you off, Nils, but I feel like the biggest slap in the face, you literally took Superman and gave him a cameo in Deadpool. Like, I personally was like, yo, that's like the biggest slap in the face. Like, if I'm DC, I'm like, come on, bro. Like, how did y'all let that happen? Like, I was even frustrated, like watching it low key. I'm like, how can y'all let that happen, dog? Like, come on, man.
And like you said, not even just like the physical appearance cameo of like you're there, but it's like he called them out. It was like, oh, we can do you better than those, whatever he said, down the street, do you?
Yeah.
So I was like, the fact that he calls them out too, we got you in the movie, and I said that.
Yeah,
but they responded to Wonder Woman being such a hot movie. They responded with that with Avengers. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't play, it's not equal. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're just like, oh, you made Suicide Squad and it made a lot of money, and you got Ben Affleck. Okay, we'll just, like, what did they do after Suicide Squad? They like
Suicide Squad
did
2, which was
they did like Guardians of the Galaxy. They just like, kind of like go OD anytime DC tries to show life. It's a beautiful thing. If you actually like look at the timeline, it's the pettiness of Marvel and Disney is it's magical. Like it's something that history should write about. And I think that's why we'll continue to get good stuff. Anything else, y'all?
This won't be the last Deadpool anything we see. Like, this movie's going to make $1 billion. And if capitalism has anything to say about it, this will be this won't be the last time Ryan Reynolds puts that suit on.
No. No, we're gonna get another one. Yeah.
They'll go until they crash. Like that's their way. Like they'll go until they make an Iron Man 3. And then they'll say, all right.
They might make another Deadpool and Wolverine movie.
They might. No bull. I wouldn't mind if like this is the formula: Deadpool and insert character, and like we just keep it going like this. Deadpool and Spider-Man.
For that to happen.
Deadpool
and
this.
You gotta love Ryan Reynolds. If you hate him, this sounds like a nightmare. Yeah. All right, y'all. Anything else?
Nah, thank y'all for having me again. I love it.
Always, man. Go back and watch X-Men.
I'll have some time.
Give it a look through.
Oh, this is the other thing I was gonna add. You don't gotta put this on the in the show, but in true fashion, Niels strikes again. We get to the movie theater, right? And Niels is like, I got the seats, don't even worry about it. Yo, we sit down in our seat, we ordered beers, like we all comfortable. These dudes walk up and they're like, yo, you in our seats. And I'm like, no. I'm like, Niels got the tickets. And Niels is like drinking his beer, like just staring ahead. I'm like, Niels, tell them, bro, these are the wrong seats. And Niels is like, look, they the wrong seats. And I glance at it, I'm like, dog, this is not the right seat. We're in a completely different row.
This is 100% true.
I just played
this
cool.
is all true.
I played cool
but
because,
this is a problem though, Otis.
Empty seats in the next row, and I was like,
Otis,
that's where we should be sitting right now.
The reason I know this is a thing is Otis was very calm. He was like, all right, just got up, just walked in, sat down. And I was expecting Otis to be like, this man did it again. Otis was it's like he was expecting it. He was just like, all right, well, I knew this was going to happen at some point. I knew he was going to do something silly.
We're not Deadpool and Wolverine, but like, I expect you to do Niels things and you expect to do Otis things, and that's a Niels thing. I was like, well, let me just get my beer.
He was so calm about it. Like, look, I was just like, damn, you really was expecting me to do so. He's like, okay. Just sat down. Like, can't wait for the movie.
He didn't even get comfortable, like, because he knew you didn't take his jacket off. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna like 10 minutes into the movie, we'll see what happens. But
didn't even recline the seat back yet.
I know, right? You didn't even like.
I didn't, bro. I like literally like when they came over, I didn't even like really have faith in Niels. Like Niels was like immediately like, no. Y'all are wrong. I have my tickets. And like while Niels was doing that, I was like gathering.
Otis like getting his stuff together. He's like, well, did it again.
Like I was more concerned about Otis being so chill about it than it's about me messing up the seats. You know what I'm saying? She was just like,
funny.
Yeah, absolutely fine. Anyways, Otis, thanks for coming by.
Thank you for having me.
Can't wait to have you back again.
You don't got to include that. I just wanted to make sure they heard this.
Oh, no, keep it in.
I'm keeping it in. I'm gonna keep it in. And thank you, Pop Cult. Thank you for listening. We have a new episode every month. You can find us on all social media at Pop Cult Parent, POPCULTPARENT. Visit us at www.popcultparent.com. Become a member of the Pop Cult at our Patreon, patreon.com/popcultparent, where you can see all of our full video episodes. Email us at popcultparent@gmail.com. Don't forget to rate us, review, and subscribe. And as always, join the cult. Peace.
Peace.
Be out.